Let's be real, most guys want to build muscle, and even women. Usually they want a big gluteus maximus. That's an ask for anyone who failed biology. The problem is we've been told that to build muscle we need to eat more, bulk up, and then go on a diet just in time for summer to show off our new gains. But to be honest, do you really want to spend half the year being fluffy just to diet down again? What if I told you that it doesn't need to be that way, and you can make just as many gains and likely keep them better by not bulking? The best bit is you won't need to starve yourself just before your holiday, so then you get that lean look and risk losing the muscle. So my name's Tom Ashcroft and I am an online coach that knows how to build muscle. I've done it myself, and through 17 years of learning, I know what works and what doesn't, and what I can tell you for certain is that what I'm about to tell you will help you gain muscle. The thing I'm talking about is called main gaining. And to be honest, I don't know if someone has copyrighted that yet, so if it's you, please don't get me striked. So main gaining is the idea that you can build muscle while staying relatively lean by eating at or just slightly above maintenance calories. But first, a thought experiment. Let's break it down logically. If extra calories equals more muscle, then why does body fat increase at all? Wouldn't 100% of that energy be used for growth? And that to me is where things fall apart, and the science backs it. Well, just imagine this line here is the optimal amount of food that you need to grow the optimal amount of muscle on that particular day in that particular week. If we keep feeding ourselves all the food and we reach that optimum amount, and then we keep feeding ourselves, the excess water isn't going into our muscles. That excess water is going to be stored as fat. The science shows that this study, so this is the sciencey bit that proves that this is true. According to this study, maintenance calories is not related to your body weight. Maintenance calories is replacing the number of calories used in a day, which includes muscle growth. People act like maintenance calories are tied to a specific weight, but in reality, maintenance just means eating enough to replace the energy that you burn daily, which includes the energy cost of muscle growth. So if you're training consistently and hitting your protein intake, your body will use available energy to build muscle without needing a massive surplus. The idea that you have to overfeed yourself to grow is just not true. If fat gain was necessary to build muscle, then body recomposition just wouldn't exist. But it does. People gain muscle and lose fat at the same time all the time. And it's not some kind of mystery. Your body isn't sitting there thinking, damn, I need to store some extra love handles before I can build these biceps. That's just not how it works. No matter what anyone says, fat gain happens because you eat more than what your body needs in terms of energy. Not because it somehow speeds up muscle growth. If that were the case, sumo wrestlers would have the best physiques in the world, but they don't, and that alone should tell you something. So instead of force feeding yourself into oblivion, you can eat just enough to support muscle growth. And you can think about it as your body being a sports car. If you want just enough fuel to go fast, not so much that you turn into a bloated truck hauling extra weight. So instead of force feeding yourself into oblivion, you eat just enough to support muscle growth. We're trying to be nimble, not stuffing a cargo ship that barely moves. But how do we make sure that we're eating the right amount? That's where diet comes in. Imagine your muscles are like a garden. If you overwater it, aka dirty bulking, you drown the plants, aka fat gain. If you don't water it enough, i.e. cook too hard, the plants shrivel and die, i.e. you lose muscle. Main gaining is the sweet spot, just enough water for growth. The problem comes when most people either eat way too much or don't track at all. You wouldn't just throw random numbers at your bank account and hope you save money. And this is the same principle. Your diet should be protein focused. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Carbohydrates, moderate enough to fuel training. And fats, low to moderate to keep your hormones happy, and fat gain minimal. And calories, only 100 to 300 over maintenance. Enough to gain muscle, but not store excess fat. And I know I've just said that you should eat at maintenance, but if you don't know what your maintenance is, i.e. you do different things every single day, you walk up and down the stairs a different amount of times per day, the extra 100 to 300 is going to compensate for that. So then you know that at least that optimal line is hit, but not go over by too much. And that's the fuel sorted. Now let's talk about the engine, i.e. training. I have a lot more on this topic for those who need to lose some weight. If that's you, in the description you'll see a link. That link is an email course. Over the next 21 days you'll get an email each day breaking down common problems for people on the fitness journey. And so have you ever seen that guy in the gym doing endless sets of curls and leg raises and he never seems to grow? If you listen to this video, then that's not going to be you. The secret to muscle growth isn't working out, and it's training harder. And notice I said harder, not smarter. And that means progressive overload. If you're lifting the same weight each week, you're basically just showing up and it's cardio at this point. To build muscle, we need to focus on heavy lifting. And let's be honest, the bigger someone is, the stronger they're gonna be. Strength and muscle go hand in hand. So lift heavier weights. Note, safely. Each week, we should be aiming to increase the weight or the reps over time, i.e. progressive overload, and training muscle groups at least twice per week. And this doesn't mean going to the gym and spending 20 hours in there. Workouts should be 45 minutes maximum, because what you can do is fall into the trap of junk volume. It's always about quality. Okay, so now we've got the diet and the training dialed in. How do we make sure that we're not creeping into fat gain territory? And that's by optimizing fat gain while maximizing muscle. If you've ever tried to bulk and then realized that your abs have gone on vacation and they might never return, that's exactly what we want to avoid. The problem is most people eat like they're trying to enter a bear hibernation phase when bulking, but the key is controlled eating and tracking progress. Otherwise you're just hoping for the best, which, spoiler alert, does not work. So to keep fat in check, track progress weekly. That's weight, the mirror, strength gains. And stay active beyond lifting. So that includes NEAT. Get your steps up, move throughout the day, actually do cardio even if you're trying to build muscle. And stick to mainly clean whole foods and remove as much junk processed food as possible. And this is the big one. If you're gaining more than 0.5 pounds per week, you're eating too much. It isn't muscle, it's fat. I know what you're thinking, okay, but how much muscle can I actually gain with this approach? Let's talk about realistic expectations. If you don't eat enough, you won't have the energy to build muscle. So then just like this example where maintenance calories is not equal to your body weight, imagine you've got a car and you put enough fuel in there to travel 400 miles. That tank of fuel will get you there. However, if you then put some extra weight on this car, because you're going on holiday, there you go, we put a roof rack on, the car is going to need more energy to carry that weight. And because of the extra weight on the car, it's only going to be able to travel 300 miles. And just like not feeding yourself enough food, you're not going to be able to grow muscle if you're under the amount of calories that you need. Replacing the amount of calories plus muscle growth. Just like you can't start a fire without fuel. If you've ever seen those transformations where a guy supposedly gained 30 pounds of muscle in 3 months, then that's either Photoshop or enough gear to start a pharmacy. Real talk, muscle growth is slow, so expect about 0.25 pounds to 0.5 pounds of muscle per month. That's like watching grass grow, but the good news is that you stay lean and avoid the whole cutting misery cycle. And main gaining works best for all lifters. So that's intermediate and advanced lifters. That includes people who want slow, sustainable gains with minimal fat gain. Those who hate cutting, that's me, and want to stay lean year round. And if you stick to that, It means no more dirty bulking, no more crash diets, no more risking muscle loss just to look good on a beach. It's not the fastest method, but it is as well. It's going to be the one that lets you stay lean whilst growing. And to be honest, if you do that, you're going to look better than 99% of people. But eating enough food isn't just enough for gaining muscle, you also need to be training right. And I've made a video about how to get bigger arms in 30 days. If you follow the steps on that video, point by point, then in the next 30 days, I promise you that you will have bigger arms.